Okay, we're back. Dave and Jennifer, Amateur Astronomy Association of Princeton. We're here in Titusville at our observatory, and right now we have Jupiter up. So let me get this a little bit bigger, and that way you can see what we're looking at. It's a little hard to see, but I can actually zoom in. Now, planets are hard to get with a camera. I mean, for EAA, electronically assisted astronomy. So we're doing 17 millisecond exposure. In order to get the detail on the planet, you have to, which is very bright, you have to keep it a short exposure. You can barely see a moon here, and maybe one down here. I'll change that in a little bit. It's jumping around a lot because the atmosphere jumps around. So the really cool pictures are hundreds of exposures that are then fed through a computer algorithm to take out some of the fuzziness. We're doing this live. You're seeing, you know, live grabs of the planet itself. So I'm trying not to wipe out all the details, trying to keep the background dark. So you can see the cloud belts, the two cloud belts. You might think this is the Great Red Spot, but we did check and it is not. It does not appear on any of our apps that talk about what's happening on Jupiter right now. But you can definitely see the cloud belts. Just get the mouse out of the way. And in a minute or two, we'll change the exposure so you can see where the four different moons are. But if you were looking in an eyepiece, you don't, when it's smaller, you don't see the waviness from the atmosphere. And if you change to a higher power eyepiece, you start magnifying the atmospheric effects. So it's kind of like zooming in with my digitally zooming in with my camera. So yeah, it's jumping around a little bit. You can kind of see Ganymede right here, but let's zoom back out, and then let me change the exposure and show you where the moons are. So we go from 17 milliseconds up to like 1 second. Yeah, there you go. So this is a 1 second single frame grab. You can see the four moons. They pop out really well. Callisto, Europa, Ganymede, and Io. And we've got something to mention about two of the moons.
One of the things I tell the public that I find absolutely fascinating is the fact that Europa is covered with ice. They believe there's an ocean underneath it.
This one here.
And it's one of the candidates in the solar system for potentially having life. And then Io is volcanic and is covered with volcanoes. And they help to
Who's closer?
They help to feed Jupiter's magnetic field, actually the radiation belt caused by the magnetic field. And so, yeah, Io plays a big part in, so anything that we send to Jupiter as far as spacecraft have limited lifespans and have to be protected with a lot of shielding.
But it's generated by Io, right? Is that what you're saying? or just
generated by the magnetosphere around Jupiter
Around
gets
Jupiter,
the radiation
okay.
particles moving, particles from the sun, particles from Io, and gets them whipping around the planet. And yeah, it's
dangerous for the spacecraft.
yeah.
So that's about what best we're going to do for Jupiter tonight. Like I said, filtering out the effects of the atmosphere is very difficult with a live video feed camera. But Saturn's up next to it.
Yep.
Maybe we'll take 5 minutes and go over to Saturn and see what we can see there. Okay, we'll be back.